In this video, we're going to be talking about how to add and get rid of sermons on your website. I start off in the dashboard, and I'm on the home page right now. Yours may look a little bit different than this, but I'm going to get into sermons, I'm going to go on the left-hand side to sermons, and then I'm going to click on all sermons. And this will show all the sermons that I currently have on the website. There's only one on this website. So I'm going to hover over this. If I want to get rid of this sermon, I'm going to hover over the sermon itself. I have a number of options here. One of them is to put into trash. If I click on trash, the sermon is still on your server. So you haven't gotten rid of it completely yet. If you want to get rid of it completely, excuse me, you need to go to trash, the trash tab here. And then you hover over the sermon and you have a choice here. You can either delete it completely. If I click on this, that sermon will be gone permanently. Or I can restore it back to all of my other published sermons. In this case, I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to click on restore. And that puts the sermon back in. If I click on here on published, I can see it's gone back into the published sermons. So in order to edit a sermon, what I can do is go into a sermon that you already have on the website, and I can edit any of the information. This is the title. If you had a description, you could edit the description here. You could put in a different, in this case, we have a YouTube video. You could put in a different video, or you can add the sermon in a number of different forms. If you have your sermon as a PDF file, you would put the address to that file in here. If it's a YouTube video, you put the URL of the video here. Same thing with Vimeo. You might have an audio file. This will need to be in the form of either MP3 or MP4. And you would add the location of that audio file here, or if you have the sermon hosted on SoundCloud, you put the SoundCloud link right in here. And so you can edit any of the information that you currently have, and when you're done making the edits, you click on update, and all the edits will be saved. If I want to add a new sermon, what I would do is I go to this sermon area again, and one of the options is add sermon. If I click on add sermon, what I'm going to do is to just walk down the page and add any information that I want to add. So I'll give the sermon a title. We'll call this one Sermon 2. If I want to add a description, I would add that description right here. We'll just put in some dummy text right here. And the next thing I do is I add the sermon in whatever format that I that I want. I can do a PDF, as we talked about before, a video, YouTube video. I can add my sermon. It should only be in one of these formats here, and I have 5 different choices. So you add your sermon in whatever whatever format you want to add it in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the right-hand side here, and I can add a speaker. I have a selection right now of all the people who are currently have spoken before, and I can choose one of them by simply selecting that, or I can add a new speaker if I click on this. If you have a guest speaker, or if you have a number of speakers at your church, you can add a new speaker right here. I can do the same thing with topics. If the sermon is on a particular topic, I can type the topic in here, click on add, and then I've added that topic. And I can add more sermons on that same topic in the future. I can do the same thing with series, sermon series. I can add series here. And I can also add an image. If you have an image that reflects what the sermon is about, you can add that right here. When you're done with this sermon, you click on published. And that's all there is to it. The sermon will be added to your website. And that's how you add sermons, and showed you before how you can get rid of them too.